Hello everyone, it's Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art, and today's day 122 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. And it is Tuesday, which means it's Book Page Tuesday, where we do a project made from a book page. So there's a video every day, short little video, teaching you guys how to make different pieces of ephemera, how to make junk journals, how to decorate junk journals, everything to do with junk journals. So on Tuesdays, we've started a project called Book Page Tuesdays, where we're going to make something out of a book page. It's mostly a pocket, but sometimes we make other things out of book pages. So anyway, let's get started. Grab your pile of book pages or find a book that will work for you in your theme of your journal you're working on, whatever you want to choose. And you're going to want to choose a paper that is sturdy, not very soft. So whether it's a brand new book page or an old book page, you want something that has a little bit of weight to it. And so this one is a good one. You know, it's nice and thick, although it's a little small. I'm going to use a larger book page for today's project. So I'm going to dig through here. Like, this is pretty flimsy and soft. Let's see if we can find something a little bit more sturdy. That's getting close. That might work. We'll pull that one. Let's see what else we have for sturdy book pages. I mean, just a gigantic pile in here. Okay, so let's move all these little ones off to the side and see what we have. This is good. So this is sturdy. That will work. Those ones will work. All of your newer book pages, these will work. They're just too small for today. But any new book page that's not old, it will work just fine for this project. Music paper does qualify as a book page because it's torn out of a music book, right? So we can make one out of music paper as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the pages I've pulled. We hopefully will have time to make a few. I'm going to start with one of these. There was some, here we go. There were some that, yes, that were thicker than others. Let's use this one. All right, so the page size that I'm going to play with, just so you guys know, you can make this out of any size book page. The smaller your book page, the smaller your pocket will end up being. The larger your book page, the larger your pocket will end up being. The page I'm playing with right now is about 7 3/4, closer to 8 by about 10 1/4 inch. So that's what I'm going to start with. Again, you can use any size paper. You can cut down a larger paper. You can make a smaller one and it'll just make a smaller pocket. So I'm going to take this page and I'm going to fold it over. So right now, the long side of my page is on the right and the short side, you know, at the bottom and top. So I'm going to fold this over and I'm going to make the two edges meet. So I'm going to have a fold on the left and two edges on the right. So that's how that works. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cut. And I'm going to cut it on the folded side, angling up towards my corner where these two pages meet. And so it doesn't matter what angle you choose to cut it at, just cut a little angle right there. Angle, well, I just moved my paper, so now I'm going to have a crooked one. Bear with me for a moment. So angle your scissors up to the point and just snip it to the point, just like that. There we go. So you're going to end up having a corner. This one's going to need a little trim because my scissors slipped. But anyway, you angled it. You started cutting from the corner or from the fold, and you angled your scissors up to the corner. That's the first cut we do. Then you're going to fold up the bottom part. So here's your bottom part. You're going to fold it up and it's going to go about 1/2 inch or so from this point right here where you started cutting. Okay, that part's not important. You can fold it up or as much or as little as you want to. I just like the look of it about 1/2 inch or so from that point. Okay, so at this point, we have a lot of pockets already on this pocket. Some of them are hiding. I will bring them out for you. And then we have this corner piece that we cut off. I'm going to go ahead and glue this corner piece right here on the front. And so, you know, I used a book page that has, you know, dictionary, whatever on it. You can try to put that sideways so it's not completely upside down. That looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to put mine on sideways like that. And so we're going to start gluing now. When you glue this pocket up, you want to glue it exactly where I'm showing you, because if you glue it in different places than what I show you in this video, you might close up some pockets that are possible. Maybe you don't want all the pockets on it and you want to close up some pockets. That's an option too. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start working from the top pocket all the way down to the back pocket. This little piece right here is our first pocket, and we want to seal up this open edge right here. So whatever edge you have on the left side of your paper, you want to make sure that's closed. So I'm just going to take some glue and I'm going to glue up very thin little line here. Just glue up that side of that pocket. There we go. And fold that over. And now that pocket is created basically because it's folded down here and we glued up this side. And so now we're going to glue this to the front of this folded up piece. Okay. So we're going to take it and we're going to decide which way we want our words going or whatever pattern you have. And we're going to glue this on the left side again and across the bottom. And so this is the way it works. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to glue right here across the bottom and right down the left side. And then I'm going to take it and put it back on right there, lining it up with that. Perfect. Now you notice that I have a little bit of a point sticking over the top up there. That's fine. I'm going to cut that off here in just a second. So let's cut that little point. You'll probably have a point. It depends on what angle you cut your top little corner, but you'll probably have a point there. Just trim it off. There we go. That's fine. Now, if you want to ink your things, you can ink before you start gluing. And I probably should have done that because it will help you see where the pockets are at the end. Keep in mind this little scissor did slide, so my pocket is not quite the angle that it should be, but it's close enough. So there's that one. Let's go ahead and ink this bottom so we can see it all the way across. So there's that. You have right here, you have a pocket in this little middle section, and you have a pocket behind it. So you technically have two pockets there. Now this little guy here that we folded up, he needs to be glued on the right side to make a pocket. You only want to glue the bottom part, this page right here. Don't glue here just yet. I mean, you could, but don't do it just yet. Let's glue up this side. So we're just gluing the right side. And even if my paper is torn, not going to matter. Glue up the right side of the folded section. There's that. And we just created another pocket right here. Now I should have done a little thumb notch right there. So I'm going to try to attempt to do that before I go too much further. I can get it in there. So go ahead and do a thumb notch. I'm going to do it backwards. Do a thumb notch on that little folded up pocket. And this might be a video where you need to watch it a couple of times just to see the pocket being finished. I should have put cardstock back there. Just to see the pocket being finished so that you know exactly what the finished one will look like. That might be helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and run some ink there so we can see that pocket edge. There we go. So there's that pocket. Minus my little cutting job, but don't worry. Let's glue this one again on the right side, but we're also going to glue the left side now of the flip down part. We're going to glue the left and the right sides. So let's go ahead and do that. I hope you guys are having a great start to your day. My day has been wonderful so far. It's early today though. So there's a couple more pockets there. We're going to count how many pockets because I honestly haven't counted the total number of pockets. I just know it's a lot of pockets. So there's that. And now we have an opening on the big section, right? We have opening here. And we're going to have to close this up. And the way that I want to close up my pocket might be different than the way that you end up closing up yours. You have an option to leave this side open over here, and it will be a tuck right there. And I want to do that on mine. And you also have an option, if you didn't want to do that, you could seal this up. You could glue up this side, and you'd have a pocket in here. You could have a pocket in both, which is what I'm going to do. It's just going to be done a little bit differently. So the first thing I want to do is I want to glue because I'm going to make a side tuck right here that's going to go in between these layers. I want to glue a little bit up here at the top. That's all I want to glue. That way I have that whole channel there to use as a pocket. And so I'm going to glue this triangle right here. I'm just creating a little triangle with my glue for stability. So I've actually got the whole little tip there glued, and I'm just going to seal that guy up. And that's creating a pocket right here on the side, right there. Now we're still open right here, and I can seal that up, or I could leave it open, and you could also slide something down in there with this tag in there. I think I'm just going to seal mine and use the back pocket as a pocket, but you could leave it open. I'm just showing you that. I'm going to go ahead and seal mine. To me, the back pocket will suffice, so I don't need that up there. Okay, so we've done that. That's now sealed. And then because I sealed this up here and there's no pocket going in between these two book pages anymore, I'm going to thumb hole notch that. You don't really have to thumb notch it because it is at an angle, but I think I would like to. And I really need a piece of, this book paper still is kind of thin. Even though it's 2 layers, I worry about it cutting. So let's just do a little thumb notch right there. And I just want a little sliver. There we go. So if you have too thin of book page, you can put a card behind it, and that will help your little thumb notcher or your circle punch or whatever you're using. That will help it cut it more clean. Because this one down here did not cut clean. In fact, I'm so unhappy with it, I'm probably going to punch it again. Let me see if I can at this point. I can't get that card in there. We're going to leave that one. It will annoy me, and I will fix it later on the next one I make. All right. So this is what we ended up with, and we're going to count pockets. This is for my idea journal. So this one, I'm not going to put in a journal that I'm going to sell. I'm going to put it in my idea journal. This is the first time I made this. I just sat down this morning and played with paper and folded it. And honestly, the first time I folded it, I came up with this little idea. So I'm sure other people have probably done it, but this is my work today. Okay, so I'm going to number these pockets because this one is just going in idea journal. So this is pocket number 1. Right in here, right in there is pocket number 2. So number 2 is back behind these pockets. So you got number 1 here, number 2 back there. Then you have number 3 right here. Then you have number 4 back there. So there's number 4. Number 4 is behind number 3. Number 2 is behind number 1. Then you have number 5 going this way, right there. Okay, so 4 goes down here. 3 is basically right there. 2 is right there. 1 is right here. Does that make sense? So this is how I do all of the prototypes that I put in my idea journal. And number 6 would be behind, and I'll even write behind this pocket on a page. There is probably still more pocket options that you could do on this. So this is my mock journal page. It's getting kind of torn up and I need to make a new one. But anyway, the way you would glue this on a page is down at the bottom on the right side. And then you would have a pocket for something large behind it like this. Again, you don't really need the thumb notch. I just kind of liked the 2 together. So that's why I tried to do it. Anyway, you have a big pocket back there. Then for smaller pockets, you have a pocket here for like a journal card. I do have larger tags. Let's use larger tags. So this little tag can go back there. We're going to have to use this little guy. This one could go right here. So you got that and that. And then you've got number 2 right there. That'll work. And number 1 could be right there. And then we still have a super large one back here. You need a journal card for back there, but there's a pocket back there. So basically, you ended up with 6 pockets from one book page. I think that's pretty good. I think that's a lot of pockets. You don't have to make that many pockets. Of course not. You can just make one simple pocket, because you got to remember, if you're making junk journals to sell, the more pockets you make, the more tags and journal cards you have to make. Now, on something like this, I would probably make 1 or 2 really highly embellished journal cards / tags. And then the other ones I would use like printed digitals or something where it is, a little bit less time consuming to make all the things that go in 6 pockets. So that's my 2 cents on it. That's the pocket. Let's make one quick out of music paper and see how that one looks. So music paper, this is a bigger piece of music paper. Let's just start with it. I haven't done it before. Let's just start with it and see how it goes. So, and you can play around with different ways of folding your paper for the direction of the print or the pattern, or if you're trying to save like the top of the dictionary or the top of the music, you play with it and see how you like it. I'm going to go ahead and play with it like this, I think. The same way we did it, so I don't confuse you guys. So this is the music paper. I folded it in half. I have my open side on the right. From here, I'm going to cut that angle. So I want to cut it from the fold side across. So it doesn't really matter the angle you cut it at. Just start cutting and don't have your paper wiggle. If you want to put it in a paper jumper, apparently I should do that today. Maybe I have crooked eyes today. Do you guys ever have days where you just have crooked eyes? Doesn't matter. You can totally recut it. Literally didn't matter. Anyway, I have crooked eyes today. Or my hand slips. One or the other. So we cut the angle at the top. We're going to fold up the bottom however much you want to fold it up to make a nice looking pocket. In this instance, I folded it a little over 1 inch. And I folded, the whole bottom, both pieces folded together. Okay. So here's where we would do thumb notching if we're going to do it. So I'm going to do a thumb notch on the front of this guy. And I hope he will cut. We will see together. Kind of, sort of. That middle little section. And so cardstock behind it would be great. And I should have just taken the time to do it right in the first place. It's always easier. So there's that. I am going to thumb punch this one again. Actually, I'm not on this one. Let's do this one opening from here and from I don't know. We'll see in a minute. Let's glue it. Let's glue it and ink it a little bit so we can see our pockets. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I should just quit while I'm ahead. All right. So we have front pocket. We have back pocket. And we'll ink the side because we're going to glue it. And again, this is just for prototype purposes. It's not a finished piece, but it doesn't really matter at the moment. We're just playing. Okay, so there's that. We can ink that guy, ink this guy, just a little bit. I think it helps show the pockets in the video. Oh, I forgot. There's another pocket back here. Oh, there was supposed to be. Okay, we're going to do it on this one. I forgot I actually did a side pocket back here too. Anyway, we're going to do it on this one. If you stayed to the end, this is what you get. All right, so we're going to go ahead and glue this guy on first and our little corner. I forgot our little corner. So we're going to glue our little corner on. And then I'm going to do that surprise pocket back there that I forgot on the first one. So there's actually 7. Goodness, that's a lot of pockets. And I inked that a little bit wrong, but we're going to do it again. There we go. I positioned the music so that it would not be upside down this time. So anyway, there's that. We're going to start by gluing our corner on. Again, start from the top and work your way to the back pocket. The front pocket all the way to the back pocket. Otherwise, you're going to end up gluing something that you probably didn't want to glue. I'm going to glue across the bottom of this one. You could right here, you could put a dot right here. So I glued across the bottom and I put a dot right there. And that will create us another pocket right here that goes in the different direction. So number 2 on this one. So pocket number 1, we just created, well, we're going to create We're going to glue your two pieces together at the bottom and then glue them on. So I glued it together at the bottom, and then I put glue on the bottom of the back one and the little dot right there. And that's creating a pocket right here in between those two pieces. So right in there is pocket. Now there is technically still an open pocket right here, but you could put a little tiny something sticking out right there. It won't go all the way through because you'll see it, but you could do a little tiny something sticking in right there. In reality, you probably do need to glue it, and we'll make the pocket back there. I'm going to do it. There's that. Okay, so skip what I just did. I'll show you at the end. So we glued on our little triangle exactly the same way we did over here. Then I'm going to glue up this pocket. So right here, I'm just going to glue up that side, the right side. I'm playing live, and that's probably not the best way to do a video. Okay, so we have our flip down pocket here now. Everything is the same I've done over here so far. We have our flip down pocket. I'm not going to glue this side. I'm not going to glue the left side of this guy this time. I am going to glue the right side of him down. So here's the right side. There's it being glued down. And right here, I just want to put a small little dot line, whatever you want to do there, and push that together. And now we created a pocket that goes, you could glue the top up here too, but it's not going to matter if you leave it open. Now we created a pocket that goes right here. You might want to thumb notch it. I didn't glue it. I know I didn't glue it right there. You might want to thumb notch right here. It depends, but you could thumb notch right there. So now there's a pocket that goes sideways. There's still a pocket that goes all the way back here, and there's the pocket there. So technically you could have 7 pockets that way. Then we still have this open side over here. I got some glue over there. We have this open side. We could leave that as that big tuck. I really like it as a big tuck right there. So I'm going to leave it as a big tuck. And I'm going to do the top the same. So the only thing I did different is leave this side of the flip down piece. I left the left side of the flip down piece open just by putting a little dot there to create this little side tuck right there. It's hard to get in without the thumb notch because you have so many layers of page right there. I think after you do it a couple times, maybe just open it up a little bit. Not quite that much, but open it up a little bit. I think that will be helpful. There we go. All right, so I'm going to glue just the little top triangle again for this guy. And it doesn't really matter how low you glue. And I'm going to glue the top across. Just like that. The triangle is mostly for stability. That's why I glue the whole triangle instead of just putting a line or a dot there, because you do want this piece to be secure and sturdy. So I've glued from here up, and then I glued down here, and now I have that side pocket. Yeah, you could thumb notch that as well. Just be careful because you're going to thumb notch your pocket part right here. So I'm going to not thumb notch it, but you could. And then, of course, this is our other pocket. It's really kind of a little bit hard to get in there, but you can, for sure, get in there. So anyway, I'm going to number this one just so we can see it too. And then I'm going to make some for the fairy journal. You'll have to see them in Friday's craft with me, but yes. So we still have pocket number 1 right here. We still technically have 2 here, but I'm going to label number 2 this way. Right there. We also have number 2 that could go that way. This is number 1. Then we have number 3 right here. You could do number 4 right there if you used 2 tags in 1 space. Number 5 is still right here. That was a terrible arrow. Number 6. Number 6 is when you glue it on the page behind. We still missed a pocket. Oh, because I used number 2 right there. I see. And so you got 2 number 2s. I think there's still a pocket hiding in here somewhere. I think you could still add another pocket. I'm going to have to play with this a little bit more to add another pocket, because I think that there still is room to put some other little pocket in here. Anyway, I'm going to continue to play with it, guys. That's my pocket for today. I'm sorry for the crazy video, but that's what happens when I have to, like, you know, just craft it for the first time with you guys. I want you guys along with me for the journey of crafting it for the first time. So I'm going to fill it up one last time and put it on a page. Again, it goes like this. So there's that one. So even from a really large page, which I didn't measure that, but that was from like a big sheet music page. So you have a pocket back here, number 4. Yeah, we glued it at the bottom. It's folded. Good. Then you have, let's see, what tag should we put? Maybe 2 tags back there. Wait, this can be the journal card. We'll pretend that's the journal card coming out from there. It's a giant one, but anyway. Then you have the pocket back here. You have the little tag that could go here. I think something bigger can go there. I just don't have the right kind of thing. Then this one could go there. Then we've got this guy that goes back here. See, it is hard for me to find it. There we go. So at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we still have another pocket hiding. Where do we have another pocket hiding? Oh, back there. I see. I see. So back here, there's also another one, because you have the two layers. See, there is a pocket back there for this guy to tuck in, and there is a pocket right here for this guy to tuck in. So technically, number 7 is back there. All right, so there's number 7. I found it. I'm like, I know there's supposed to be another one. But look on a page how much you could fill in on a page. And you would have a larger journal card here. I mean, I have this guy, so we can pop him in there if he fits. But I think this is a great pocket. I don't, you know, I'm sure many other people also sat down and folded book page. I'm trying to do it now. But I'm sure many other people sat down and folded book page and came up with, I'm sticking on my corner back there. It's a little too big of a journal card. I can't get it to work. Anyway, I'm sure many other people folded book page and figured this out. So I'm not claiming it as like, oh my gosh, you know, this is my original. However, I did just sit down and fold paper. So you can too. You can sit down and fold paper. Sorry for the crazy video. I may have had too much coffee. Anyway, guys, have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will see many of you guys tonight for the live starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is a live sale Tuesday too. All right, guys, see you soon. Bye.